morning. I think you can see behind me, we're just got to first light. It's actually a little brighter on the camera than it is in real life. A few months ago, you would have seen we did a video doing kind of an unboxing from my buddy Galen at ONT Carpn, who's a member of the Pallatrax team. I've really wanted to try these Gripz hooks. They're technically barbless, but they have these weird ridges where the barb should be that help it retain the fish. Galen was really cool when I mentioned to him that I wanted to try the hooks to just set me up with a little care package. It's the same bag we went through in that unboxing video. It's got some of the stones weights, some of the really heavy hook link material. This is the one I'm going to be using today. This is the 25-pound steam link. I hope I don't have to steam it because I didn't bring anything with me to do that. If I tie these fast enough, I might have a workaround though with the hot coffees. He gave me 3 different patterns of hooks in a couple sizes. So today I'm gonna tie 3 rigs before I go out there. I have some wide gape, some curved shank, and some chod hooks. I'm gonna tie, I think I'll do 2 on the wide gape and 1 on the curved shank. And I'm gonna tie my standard rig, my German rig. The only difference with this is normally I use the Chlor. It doesn't need any kind of extra tubing or kickers or anything like that. I'll probably put a kicker on the wide gapes, and I think I'll leave the curved shanks as they are. Let's see if these hooks are up for the challenge of these really tough fish in a tricky spot to land them. So yeah, I've just got to the spot, turn the camera on, so I'm going to tie up 3 rigs real quick. I'm going to get myself set up, get some bait in the water, because I haven't had any bait go in since I was here on Thursday. It is now Monday, so it's been a few days with no attention to it. Once I get everything set up, I'll let you have a look at the swim, and I don't know, I have a neat feeling that it's not going to take long to get a run. Thursday evening I showed up and I was probably less than 15 minutes and I had a double take. So I'm quite excited to fish this spot again, and I'm really excited to finally actually put these Gripz hooks on a rig. I'm not going to use the stones today. I have a different location that I want to try those. I don't really want to lose them, but yeah, definitely going to test the hooks in the hook link today. So let me put those away. I'm going to tie up 3 rigs real quick while I have a bit of my coffee, and I look funny to all the morning commuters driving along the parkway. Sitting here talking to myself in the van. And the nice thing is my rear view and my side mirror are actually fixed right on the swim. So while I'm tying the rig, if any fish show, I'll see it before I'm even out of the vehicle. So let's get these tied up and get fishing. Alright, so the rigs are tied, and well, you can't see me because it's too bright. The rigs are tied, so now I need to get a little bit of bait in, and then I'll set up the pod and the rods and all that stuff. So to show you what I put together, man, it looks good actually. Here. So you can see I got a fair bit of stuff in there. I got 2 cans of sweet corn. I've got apparently some whole boilies. I ran them through my little crusher tool, but I guess they didn't cut really well. Those are DT Baits pineapple boilies, the feeder boilies from Carp Kit. And those are the Tiger Nut and Corn 7mm pellets. Then you can see that little bit of a black fleck that's in there, all kind of on the edge there. That is crushed hemp seed. I ran it through a blender with some water, and it made like a white hempy slurry, and that stuff has been sitting with the sweet corn and the pellets, like I said, for like 2 months, and I just added the boilies to it last night. So it's a pretty good mix, I would say, of good quality stuff. It's the same stuff I put out on Thursday, because this bucket was full. It looks fresh. I think that's because I doused it all in the Tiger Nut and Corn DNA liquid. That stuff is like loaded in there. So I've got a lot of good stuff in there for food signals. Oh, tiger nuts. There's also tiger nuts in there. I did try a bottom bait when I was here Thursday. Didn't get a touch on it. Didn't get a touch on a wafter. They only took the pop-ups. And I have a feeling that's just because with the flow there's a lot of like silkweed drifting on the bottom. So I think the bottom baits get covered up too quickly and they don't see it. You know, it's a clear river. I think a lot of the time they feed visually and not necessarily, I think they follow the scent upstream. That's how they get to the bait, but I think once they're on the bait, I think they're feeding more visually than anything else, because the pop-ups just outdo everything on this river. They do take bottom baits, they do take wafters, but it's not even a comparison. Not even a comparison, man. The pop-ups just crush it. And I have a limited selection of pop-ups with me today. Let's see. What do I got? I'm traveling light. I got just a little bit of gear. So I've got some pineapple chunks pop-ups. I've got the silt busters. Not that you really need them on the river. There's no real silt to worry about. What else is in there? Banana, obviously. I've got the pineapple boosted hook baits. There's gotta be, I must have grabbed something pink. I won't go without pink. There we go. The superfruit mixed colors. So there's some yellow, some pink, and some like orangey pink. So it's most likely going to be a pineapple, superfruit pink, and then silt buster, I think, that I'm going to put out. Thursday I didn't have any fish on the right hand rod. That was the furthest upstream. All the fish came and all the bites came to the left and the middle rod, which makes sense as the fish are coming up into the swim, which is a stunning swim, by the way. So we're going to set up the same way, 3 rods, 1 downstream, 1 straight in front, 1 slightly upstream, and I don't think it's going to take long to get a bite. I'm going to put like 3 scoops of bait in just to get them kind of, get the scent in there. Yeah, I got a lot of setting up to do. I'm going to get some bait in. Okay, I'm trying to move a little quickly now. I've got one rod set up already. And while I was putting that rod together, I noticed there was like a fair sudden temperature drop that I wasn't really expecting. So I checked the weather app on my phone, and it turns out that there's thunderstorms coming. Like, soon. Probably within an hour or so. There's going to be thunderstorms landing here, and that is going to be problematic for me. Because it doesn't work well for filming. So I'm kind of rushing things along here, just to make sure we try and get a fish before the weather turns. They still have the old rigs on them, and I wanted to take the shock leader. I have this this big snag leader, shock leader, 65-pound mono that I had when I was on my trip up north with Nathan to the island. And yeah, because it was such a short session on Thursday, I didn't really care about it. Just left it on there. Had a few flubbed casts because of it, but no biggie. And I thought, well, I don't want to be using that today. So I took it off the first one, and then I looked up, and sure enough, there is a lot of cloud cover moving in. So I think I'll just put up with a couple of crabby casts here and there as it gets tangled in the reel, but saves me the time of having to retie everything. And speaking of tying, I have to say that Steam Link was actually really nice to tie. I used the stripper tool on the coating. It came off so smooth. Like a lot of the other hook links I've used, I used the stripper tool on it, and like you got to do 3 or 4 passes. It doesn't always pull right. Sometimes it just kind of breaks it and then pulls, but doesn't take it all off. That Steam Link stripped really easily. It was really easy to tie, and to get these rigs, you know, they were really coiled up coming off of the spool, but I just gently rubbed them against the side of my hot coffee, and it stretched the well, it didn't stretch, but it was enough heat to smooth out the rig, so that it's just that there's a slight bow there, but once the weight of the hook and everything is on there, that's pretty damn straight. So here's a quick tip: rub it against the side of your hot coffee and it'll straighten out your hook link material. Okay, so I've got 2 rods ready. I think, no, I want to put them all in at the same time. Let's see here, what else we got? Okay. So the rod that's already set up over at the chair it's got a lead clip on it, but the lead clip's rigged on inline. So it's a running rig, essentially. I have the second rod, the one I just finished setting up, is a helicopter rig setup with a heli safe on it, because with the snags in the margin, I want it to be a little bit safer. And this rig is one of my typical river rigs, just an inline lead. This is from this is one of the leads I got from the Canadian Carp Society social last year from a Quebec guy named Stephen St. Cyr. he makes these leads. And they're really, really nice leads, actually. So yeah, they are longer rigs because I'm fishing the river. I don't like fishing short rigs when I'm fishing the moving water, but that came out quite nice. That's one of the wide gape ones. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put one of the wide gape rigs the furthest downstream. I'm going to put the curved shank in the middle, and I'm going to put another one of these upstream. So I've got one with pineapple over there. I got one with Superfruit Pink. So we'll do one with Silbusta. A lot of people starting to ride their bikes by. It's a really, really popular area for riding your bike because it's a long bike path. Basically from Niagara on the Lake all the way to Fort Erie. It's like 54 kilometers or something like that. A lot of people just get out for their morning exercise along the bike trail for a walk or for a ride. And again, here I am talking to myself at the back of my van. And anybody who's been along the river here, sound actually carries really well. So they can probably hear me talking from quite a distance off. Alright, no PVA sticks, no bags, just freaking wang it out there. I'm not fishing far out, 20 yards. This is an interesting spot with the way the drop-off comes through. It's almost like there's two drop-offs. So most of the spots on the river, you're either fishing a flat and the drop-off is past that, or you're fishing right at the drop-off because it's close to the bank. This one, you've got like a weed bed right in front, drops down to like 4 feet. Then this 4-foot kind of shelf that's like tapers down to like 6 foot. Then the primary drop off of the river that goes down to like 10-12 foot. So I'm fishing on the ledge on this side of the main drop off, and I had good results Thursday. So let's get some lines in the water. fish. I thought it was just weeds on the line. It's not. That's a good fish. Come on, you pig. Oh my God. I just realized that through that whole battle and me just talking to the camera for 2 minutes, the microphone battery was dead. Well, rather than try to recap everything that I said anyways, might have picked up the audio from the other camera. I don't know, but yeah, that's a big fish. That's definitely a huge upgrade for my SSF weight because it's the last day, and I wasn't expecting it to be the right-hand rod that went. The upstream line isn't usually the first one to go, but that is characteristic of this river. You put 3 lines out, you really don't know which one's going to go. Typically on a river system with flow, it's always the downstream lines that get bit first. So if you're fishing with a group of people, it's always the one that's downstream that's going to do best. You don't usually expect the upstream line to go before anything else. So let's get this fish up on the mat. We'll get it weighed. We'll get all the proper documentation for the SSF, and hopefully we won't get another run until after we get that line back out. Oh crap. Oh, okay. I lost that other fish. I think the other camera got it. The whole pod got pulled over. It was the middle rod, got wrapped up in the other line, then went right into the weeds. I got a hold of it just to try and steer it out into open water so I could get back to this fish. But that one came off. That would have been on the curved shank hook. So being in the snag, tangled in the other line, it's probably best that it didn't have the barbs on it. Sucks to lose a fish, but always better to lose a fish when you're playing with something big in the mat already. Okay, just gotta get my photos. Okay, I need another one here. 28.5 pounds. That is a great start to the morning. Even if you lose your second run, that's a killer start to the morning. I just need a picture of me holding the fish. Pretty sure that was on the Silt Busta pop-up. I've got two cameras to look at, both pointing slightly different. 28.5 pounds to start off the day. My first Pallatrax Gripz fish. Second one came off, but in all fairness, I'm dealing with this. I'm okay with one coming off. It was wrapped up in the other lines anyways. Smile. Smile. Oh man, these damn phones. It was set on video. Look at that. That is a river beast. See what I mean by that big, big mouth? Smile. Do one more. Smile. Look at the wrist in that tail. I bet you in the spring, right before spawn, this fish is probably well over 30 pounds. Okay, that's not something I want to document. Some neat scales there. Always good to document when you got a neat scale pattern like that on the back.
Thanks, Carp.
Thanks, man. Smile. Okay, what a fish. What a fish. On the Silt Busta, upstream. Okay, I'm gonna put this fish back if I can get over my rods. And then I got 3 rods to redo. Oh. Yes, what a start. Okay, so I think you would have been able to see the fish that we got in the net, the 28. That one was hooked unbelievably well in the bottom passenger side of the mouth, so the right side of the mouth. That hook was in there, and while I was trying to film it in its mouth, just before that run went, I really couldn't get that hook out. It was in there. And then once I let that go and came back to it after losing the fish. Just the 20 seconds later, the fish had moved enough that I was able to get a better hold on the hook, and it came right out super easy. So I'm impressed. I really don't use barbless hooks, like, at all in my carp fishing, except for when I'm doing the matches and I'm fishing with like size 14s and size 16s. Then I use barbless, because a lot of the pre-tied rigs that you can buy for that with the pole fishing and stuff, those rigs come barbless. And I don't use barbless hooks for big fish. That was a pleasant surprise to see how well that hook was in there. The second run was on the curve shank, and looks like my split shot came off. That was the super fruit pop-up. That fish did come off when it caught in all the snags and wrapped in the other line. So from a safety point, that's absolutely what you want it to do. You can see you see the straight point on that? I'm not a fan of straight point hooks, typically, because my river fishing, the bottom's not good here. It's gravel, it's rock. You don't really, a straight point hook doesn't last more than a couple casts in this kind of water. That's had, my first cast with this one was messed up. Second cast went out just fine onto a nice hard bottom, and it's played a fish very briefly, and that tip is just fine. So again, a little bit impressed right now. Hook link is good, no nicks, no tears. The coating didn't come off with it being in the weeds like some of the other ones I've used do. So I'm going to redo that rod, the left-hand rod, because that's all messed up. I've got another lead to put on this one, and because that one dropped the lead, that's the helicopter rig. That one needs another split shot. I think the other rig needs another split shot. I got the net put back together. Ah, what a good morning. Good start. the rod's in the way. Of course it is. Well, second fish on the mat for the morning. It's just a little guy, so I don't need to weigh it for the SSF. Right now, my smallest fish is 17.5 pounds, so I'm not going to weigh anything until I think it's bigger than that. So this was on the middle rod, the Superfruit pop-up, the pink one, and this is on the Gripz curve shank hook. Oh my. That was absolutely in there. As soon as I just put a little bit of backwards pressure on it, it popped right out, exactly as a barbless hook would. But this was buried up to the eye in there. That, again, was an amazing hook hold. Once I got onto the Quarter-Chlor hooks and my Monster Carp tackle hooks, I really didn't expect to be trying any others out, because so many others that I've tried have been crap. In all fairness, I do like the wide gapes from Quarta, but straight point hooks I always stay away from, and that was a killer hook hold on a straight point hook. Settle down. This fish is maybe like 6-7 pounds, just little. But it's my second Pallatrax Gripz hook fish on the second pattern, and both patterns I'm impressed. You know, in all fairness, yeah, I did lose one on the curve shank, but that fish got into another line, got into the weed bed, and I had a fish on the mat to worry about, so I'm actually glad that one came off. And I'm hoping it was only this size and not bigger than that 28. But, you know, that little guy gave a pretty good account of himself. Went downstream straight into the weeds, and I was able to keep his head up, steer him out of those weeds just fine. I lost one this size in the weeds down there on Thursday. So it's not like a fish like this can't really give you a problem. But I'm quite happy. Quite happy with the results so far, trying these Pallatrax hooks out. I got a few more hours. I think my buddy Dave's coming down for a little bit this morning before he has to go to work. So I'm gonna keep fishing for a bit, see if we can get any more upgrades, and you know, put these hooks and hook length through the test a little bit more. You know, I know they've been around a while. They've been tried and tested by a lot of people, but you know, how often have they been used on this river? These fish are a bit of a different animal compared to some of the other carp that I've fished before in other locations. So yeah, right now I'm 2 for 3. Thursday I was 3 for 6. So as long as I can beat that, I will be quite happy. Ugh. Oh, he's into something. Oh. Nope, just heavy.
Just a big fish.
Oh, I can feel some weeds on the line.
Maybe it'll cover his eyes and he'll calm down.
That's what happened to the 28. And then as soon as that weed come up out of the water, it wasn't calm anymore. Yeah, he's into something.
That one head shake when he first cleared the weeds though was pretty... like he doubled the rod over. Oh, he's on the move.
Yeah, I gotta keep out of the other line. Those weeds. They all just swing right in. Oh, that's okay.
Good one?
That's an okay fish.
You want a net, man?
No, I'm just in the net.
Alright.
Thanks, though. I need a supervisor, though. You got the tie on in the name tag.
Yep. A koi name tag. Or tide.
You're always so coy. This is an okay fish. This is going to be a double. Not an upgrade for me.
Looks like a dark one.
This is that super fruit pink again. This has now had 3 runs. Not bigger than 17.
You got a nice little landing platform.
Water.
What do you need for an upgrade?
Anything over 17 and a half. That's not going to do it. Okay. Yeah, Dave's here hanging out. We just went and sat down in the shade to have our coffees, and I just hear Dave say, "Oh, what's happening there?" And you look over, and the middle rod's just ripped off. So again, that's the curve shank hook. That's also the pink superfruit. That's now had 3 runs out of the 4 runs that I've had. So I don't normally do this. I switched the left-hand rod because nothing has touched the pineapple. So I switched it to banana, and somehow still the superfruit went. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the right-hand rod from the Silt Busta to maybe a yellow superfruit and see if it's the flavor or the color. Well, that would be stupid. I've had 2 different yellow baits on the left-hand rod and they haven't been touched. I might actually put 2 of the same bait on. It's not an upgrade fish for me. It's going to be maybe 15 or 16 pounds, but it's another one on these Gripz hooks, and like that fish was into weed out deep. He was into the weed in the margin here in the hook hold stage. So let's get a look at it. Say that again, Dave.
Why is there always crazy rocks everywhere we fish?
Because we fish where the rocks are on the shoreline. That's about the best explanation I can give you, buddy.
I don't think we have any comfortable swims.
That fish, the hook came out in the net. Super easy. Let's see, where was that? That was in the bottom, again, bottom passenger side of the mouth. If you're over here, if you're in the UK, I guess that'd be the driver's side. But yeah, little maybe 14 pounder, would you say?
I'll give you 14.
Just to make sure, because it's happened before. That is, you did press record this time, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, my extensive experience as a camera person.
Yeah, this one's got a big split pectoral. But nice little fish. Good scrap, like really good fight.
Let me do one more, sorry.
Let me just get some water on him.
Whoa.
Okay. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the with the hooks, the hook link, obviously the baits. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do something because I've got a white, a yellow, and a pink on that I've been fishing all morning.
Is that an earwig?
Where?
Just went down the other side of here. Never mind.
Thanks for the distraction, Dave. It's okay. Yeah, pink. Pink is the color today, but the only pink I brought with me is that superfruit.
And then, so that's a recapture. The split pectoral.
Maybe I could put an orange on and see what orange. I have orange superfruit with me. Maybe they want the darker colors. They wanted the yellows. They definitely wanted the yellows the other day. Not today, apparently. And really, let's face it, the silt busta pop-ups, even though they are white, they have that hint of pink to them. So definitely a color change for one of the other rods is in order. I'm gonna get this one back and figure that one out. That plan. What kind of plan? What kind of color? What am I gonna do? Alright, it's a little bit after 10 a.m. So I've got like 3.5 hours in. I think I got the first lines in at 6:30. Once I, got here, got the rigs tied, got everything set up. So I got about 3.5 hours in. I got about 2 hours left before I have to get out of here. Obviously Dave's visiting, hanging out with his tie and his name tag. He's my supervisor today. The rain has not hit us yet. The thunderstorms, man, they were saying that we're going to hit us at like 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. Everything looked like it was going to happen, and then it cleared right up. And now it's all pushing in really fast. A lot more cloud covers coming in. It's really dark just north of us. I just got a message back from Galen. He's up in Peterborough, and he said it's absolutely hammering it down on them up there. So the nice thing is we've had a few fish. So we got a little bit of fishing, a little bit of filming done before this storm does hit. I admit I'm a little bit puzzled though. To not have the downstream rod go at all. That's the only one fishing yellow, when that was the primary rod and primary color just a few days ago. It's kind of interesting. The middle rod with that pink superfruit has been the one today. The curved shank hook has done really well. I've done a recast of all the rods. I changed the hook bait on the right. I took the superfruit off. It did its job. It got me that 28.5. I've switched the silt busta on that one. I've taken that off, and I've put a superfruit orange on there now, just to see if that makes a difference. If that rod goes again, then I know it's the darker colors. But checking the hook link material, having had a bunch of fish go through the weeds now, and scraping on all that stuff that's out there. The hook link that I normally use is Corda's N-Trapped Soft. Using that Thursday, the coatings on those hook links got chewed up, because I try to make my rig last as long as I can for as many fish as possible. The coating on these hook links, the Steam Link, hasn't budged, hasn't ripped, hasn't nothing. There's no nicks, no tears, no nothing. It's as solid and as perfect as it was when I tied it this morning. So I'm quite pleased with that. I like that it's a stiff material. I did retie one rig just because the hook that had the fish did get a little bit of a burr on it. I sharpened it, It sharpened okay, but you know, I did retie and replace that rig with a new one, and obviously my coffee wasn't hot anymore at that point, so I just did a lot of friction, just rubbing on the hook link to try and straighten out the coils, and it worked. So you don't really need the steam for the steam link, apparently. But so far, yeah, I'm quite pleased with these hooks, and I'm really pleased with the hook link material. So I'm just kind of hoping for another fish on the wide gape. You know, that's several now to the several runs to the curve shank. It did its job. It's only had the one fish come off, but as I said, kind of needed it to, with it wrapped in the other line and into the weeds. But I've got 2 rods still rocking the wide gape hook, and you know, I want to see if I get the same hook fold that I had on that biggin this morning. But so far, very, very pleased with these hooks. Galen was definitely right. What are your thoughts, Dave, on this spot, or kind of what's happening?
My honest opinion?
Yeah.
It's taken me, I don't know how many years, but I'm starting to think you're a good fisherman. It's for our careers and how we progressed as anglers and stuff. It's kind of neat to just see you rock up to like a new swim on the big river, just kind of willy-nilly, and get into some fish. So good job on that.
You know what? I'm starting to think that I'm okay at what I'm doing as well. You know, I do have a lot of sessions where I just can't put it together, and then all of a sudden everything comes together. You know, it's been like 6 weeks since I've been out. Got out Thursday and batted 50% with 6 runs on a brand new swim, not knowing anything about it and kind of figuring it out as I went. I really like this swim. I like how the run is in front of us. I like how we've got that 2-stage drop off. I like that the weeds are still relatively close. We can fish close in, but I still have a fair distance out before the main flow that I can fish out further if I want to. And then today, you know, we've had what? Landed 3 or 4, lost 1. I'm not even sure now. I'm gonna have to look back on the footage. But I've improved since Thursday, that's for sure, on a new swim. But this is one of those things where, like, the upper Niagara River is really ideal for somebody to just set up and fish. And I've said it many times with a lot of the swims on this river, pre-baiting definitely makes a difference. It really, really does. But it's been like 4 days or 5 days since I had bait in here. I rock up this morning and I had a 28-pounder in the first 10 minutes. That's without any pre-bait. That's just showing up, putting a little bait in, setting up the rods, putting them out there. You know, it's so many times people will ask me or message me, hey, where on the river should I fish? Plain and simple, the answer is wherever you can. If you, like, we're sitting right here with the vehicles, I can touch my vehicle and my rods are 20 feet away. You know, it's pretty comfortable fishing in most spots along the upper river. You can fish right out of the back of your vehicle. And oh, that was the left-hand rod.
I saw that.
That was the one I switched to banana. So it's still yellow, but that's the first indication on that rod since I started.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wasn't sure if I saw a tail or a turtle head. But something poked up, like up at the upstream rod.
Interesting.
So I don't know if it was a tail or a turtle head, but I don't have my glasses on.
But anyway, like I said, like, the river is a challenge.
Oh, middle rod's going.
Oh!
Well, hopefully it's not a turtle.
Going straight out.
That's what the big ones do.
The
what the big ones do. They go straight out and upstream. Again on the pink super fruit and the curve shank hook. So what was I saying just before that? Yeah, show up, find a place to park, walk down to a safe spot along the river, and put lines in. That is the best way to fish the Upper Niagara. You'll learn everything else as you go. Look at that fish. How much line have I already gained? And he's way out there still. Oh, he's going downstream.
He's got a good wake there. And he's angry.
Turned really fast. I don't know if he's that big. But he took a lot of line at the start. Still going up. Gotta keep him out of the gotta keep him out of this rod. He's on the other side of it now. He just turned. That fish has turned in that line 4 or 5 times. It keeps coming straight up. It's not that big. Definitely holding its own though. This fish fought like a 30-pounder. Straight out all the way. And it's like 15 pounds.
Yep.
Oh, he might come off. He went nose down.
Do you want me to scoop him?
I got him. In the bag. Well, pink is the one today. Pink super fruit.
That was a good that was a good piece of camera.
That was a hell of a run, eh? And again, to further reiterate the point, show up where you can park close to the water. Set up. Get the lines in. That's all you need on this river.
That reminds me of like Goldie's clip, like how you approach a new swim or whatever. Remember that?
It's so true.
Throw in the bait, cast on the bait.
You know what? I'm gonna put that clip in. I'm gonna dig up that clip because it was like a 20-second clip of Goldie's hot tip for fishing a brand new swim because it's so true and it so applies here.
How the Anglophiles approaches a new venue. Set up pod. Put on alarm. Put together rod. Throw bait out. Catch 10 fish.
Locked up solid. I thought for sure that was going to come off right there at the net.
looks like a little deeper body than the other one.
Man, what a hook hold.
Do you want me to get that, or are you good?
Oh, I'm good. It went in, turned with all those turns that that fish made, and then turned again. Came out with absolutely no issue. So again, it's not an upgrade. You did hit the button this time, right?
Yeah, it's going.
Okay. I'm sorry that I have to keep checking.
Thanks for making me question myself.
I'm sorry, Dave. There we go. Another little bit double. This is a solid fish, but it's not over 17, so it's not an upgrade for the SSF, but another good quality fish for sure. And it seems that the pink superfruit and that fish just crapped in my hand as I picked it up. Zebra mussel shells and crayfish shell. Small crayfish. All zebra mussels and crayfish.
You don't have to share. You can keep that.
You want to taste it? So the curved shank hook has definitely proved itself to me. I'm more than happy with that. And the wide gape got me the big one. So I'm definitely going to use the Pallatrax hooks again. Definitely going to use the Steam Link again. I'm quite pleased with this material, this equipment. So yeah, thanks Galen from ONT Carpn for putting me onto it and let me try it, because you're the one that set me up to make sure I had some, and did the job. I'm going to keep fishing because I want to get some more on the wide gape. I've moved some lines around to try and get some activity on those rigs and try a couple other hook baits, see if it's a color thing or a spot thing. You know, just playing the experimentation game as I do. But I think for now, I've satisfied my curiosity about the Pallatrax products that I've tried so far today. So again, thanks to Galen at ONT Carpn, and thanks for your help, Dave.
Anytime.
I'm going to put this one back, and I'm going to sit back and try and finish a coffee today. Fucked up all the legs because I was going to put it in the other line. I moved the helicopter rig upstream.
What was that?
The curve shank hook again because I moved the rod.
What was that? Oh. I thought you scared a bass or something.
Very much the pink superfruit. Because I moved this rod out of the way to try and give the other one a chance. This is the one that went.
So much for my weather app saying we weren't going to get rain.
Oh yeah, we're getting it. And it looks bad. That looks nasty. I'm going to get hit with lightning.
This is the best way to go, John.
I want to say that it's big, but I'm not doing very well against it. sucker right above my head. Okay, so it got into this line and then something else just hit this one. Big catfish. Oh shit.
Is that hail?
No, just big raindrops. A big catfish. I'm gonna get him in the net and I'm gonna come back.
In the net.
Okay, he's in the net. It's like a 12-pound channel cat.
Alright, so the storm has hit. It's arrived just as that run went. We'll get a look at that fish in a minute. It's like probably like a 12-pound channel cat. Big channel cat. So I'm quite excited. I like catching big channel cats. Wasn't expecting that, and certainly based on the take and the fight, I never would have thought that that was a catfish. I definitely thought that that was a bigger carp. While I was playing that fish, it got wrapped up by going under the right hand, well, I guess what would be the middle rod. And as I was steering the fish out from that rod, there was a whack on the left, and my fish was nowhere near that. My rod and the line were nowhere near that, so I had a whack on the banana, the first real proper smack on the yellow. This fish is on the pink superfruit. I moved this rod, the pink superfruit, specifically upstream because it was getting all the bites with that curved shank hook. So I put the orange superfruit on the rod that had the silt busta, and I moved that to the middle rod and wanted to see if it was a spot situation or a color situation or a flavor situation. Very much it seems to be a color thing. Holy Okay, Dave.
Oh, there's a wall.
I don't know if the
There's a wall of rain coming.
yeah, look at
Like
that.
a freight train.
We might actually need to get up in here.
Can your shocks handle fat asses?
Yeah, the shocks can handle it. Look at that white wall of rain coming. Pull this down a bit so it doesn't pour on us.
If the wind kicks up, is everything good?
You know what? I'm going to take my phone out of my pocket just in case I get a run, because that's probably what's going to happen. Look at that wall of rain coming at us. There's the rods down there with a big catfish in the net that I am not going anywhere near right now.
Oh, here comes the wind. My chair's probably gonna go.
Oh, there goes my tripod. Oh, poor guy on a motorcycle. Oh, dude.
I think I got an umbrella if he wants a gate.
I think I have a small umbrella as well that doesn't stay open.
Get a nice pink umbrella for him. This
storm hopefully will pass very quickly.
Oh, that poor guy's just sitting under a...
He's not even trying to stay dry.
Well, I don't think he can at this point, but he's just sitting under that tree, even though the wind is coming from the other way. What do you think?
The weather app totally blew that.
You think?
It said there was nothing coming.
So, there's one thing that will make this and awesome at the same time. You know what that is, Dave?
20-pound mute carp?
Yeah. Getting a run right now.
So I don't think a 12-pound common would make it awesome.
No. Oh, I'm getting wet because it's... Oh,
it's cooling.
It's cooling underneath my ass. That was a hell of a crack of thunder that hit us too.
Oh, perfect. My restaurant opens in 15 minutes. It might help the lunch rush quite a bit.
Man, the rain is blowing around. We're sitting in the back of the van with the big hatch door kind of over us, and we're just hanging out the back. And the rain is still pushing in from the sides at us. Okay, the wall of rain has dissipated and gone over to the American side now. You can see there was a wall of rain that was over there.
You got the motorcycle guy in there?
Oh yeah. Like we couldn't see the river because that wall of rain was there, but that's now moved over to the American side. So over in the US.
Oh, these are giant. Big fat raindrops. This reminds me of when we were doing that first challenge series. That challenge series video with Will, Nathan, Sean,
oh yeah,
Evan, and then that ditch that was just turned into a river of mud.
A river right below us, yeah.
Coming down hard.
Yeah, so right now you can tell like Buffalo and Grand Island, New York, they're getting hit hard. Way harder than we are right now, and we're getting slammed with rain. What a great day to go out and film a video.
Oh man.
The curve shank is the winner today though. The curve shank with the pink superfruit, man, that's had all but one bite.
You didn't have any drop takes, I don't think.
I've had a couple smacks on the left-hand rod, but no like takes where they came off, no. Did you show everybody your tie?
I don't think so. I never do this part right. There you go. Here's our target fish here, the yellow one. But I'd settle for that white one for sure with the black marking.
Oh man.
Oh, there we go.
Is that going to ease up now? The guy in the motorcycle took off before that eased up.
Maybe that cloud's already past us. And
My ass is wet.
This rain's been falling for the last 2 minutes from the clouds or something.
I think it's a little bit humid.
Yeah.
I guess this would be 100% humidity.
Fog up your windows for all the wrong reasons.
I don't know if I want you in the van with me now. Another motorcycle going by. Oh, these poor guys.
Great day for a ride.
I knew the weather was coming. That's why I'm fishing out of the back of the van. I have an umbrella with me,
but
there's
a puddle in my chair.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely a puddle. Don't sit there. I threw my chair in the back here just before this hit.
Oh, that's nice.
So now, just looking at this swim, you know, because I guess we're still filming even though I ended this a little while ago. We have a catfish to look at. When I fished here the other day, I could see big suckers, I could see big rudd, and obviously we've had carp both sessions. So this spot has definitely got my interest for a few other pursuits, let's say.
I never really pictured a catfish hanging out in this spot. Like, it's totally deceiving. Like, what they're experiencing below the surface must be like completely different than what I'm anticipating that they're experiencing. And the I don't know, the rolling bottoms must make little environments for them to be comfortable and not having to fight the current so much.
Yeah, honestly, the other spots that I fished that are somewhat similar to this, like every swim on the upper river is unique and they're all different. But there's a couple that are kind of similar to this one, and I've not had catfish from any of those. So I am a little bit surprised that that one came along.
This might be a good spot for bigger fish then.
Well, I have a feeling there's some really big fish that move through this spot. There's obviously a lot of, you know, your mid doubles, but you know, your 15 to 17 pounders pretty much your average on this river. Anywhere. There are some of the swims that tend to kick out a few slightly bigger fish. These slower ones tend to have a lot more numbers, but
true.
You know, first bite today, 28.5 pounds. Lost a big one last week, who knows, or like on Thursday, who knows how big that fish was. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential to this spot. There's obviously more swims to this spot, but this is obviously my favorite. You know, kind of how I can get down to the water, comfortable, how to set up. I got a nice wide space to spread the lines out. I'm quite pleased with it.
I think going back to like, it was like late April, early May or whatever, all of a sudden I couldn't tell the difference between a big fish and a small fish. They were just all supercharged all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I missed the spring when you could definitely tell what was big and what was different, but everything fights so crazy now. Like, I can't tell the difference between a 14-pound fish and a 34-pound fish. It's like insane.
Well, right there, it's like a 12-pound catfish fought like a 20-pound carp. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's let some of this weather pass, and then we'll get a look at that catfish before we actually wrap this up again, because we've just been filming 10 minutes of this rain.
I don't know if that's what you wanted, but we're going.
So the curved shank and the pink again, but this time, a big old kitty cat. And the rain's back. Look at that. Stop. Chill out. Oh, yeah. Oof! Barking at me. Settle. Okay. It's so hard to hold them. Look at that. Oh! I can't hold them. Sorry, Dave.
You gonna name them?
No. Oh shit, it's raining again. Okay, I'm getting wet. I gotta put this fish back. We're done filming for the day.